afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X. And today, it is warm. It is very warm.
You turn on the air?
No, so warm that my drink is sweating. And hillbillies are now gone. But hillbillies are riding around in the heat, thinking their loud motorcycle-like vehicles are awesome.
Suburban hillbillies.
But they're not. So, is what it is.
Yeah, thankfully it's not as warm as what it has been. Today is
It's not too bad today.
we're expecting some thunderstorms to come through. That's why it's a bit warm and humid. So, yeah, hopefully they might come in as we're doing the cast. They might not. But yeah, it's a little warm.
Yeah, today we will be sketching one of my old favorites, not because I have rewatched Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but because I cannot get Jessica Rabbit out of my head no matter how hard I try. She is just that perfect of a character,
It's pretty Jessica-rific.
at least to me. Oh, Jessica, you are a perfect representation of a super hot lounge singer, I guess is the archetype. Oh, yeah, all right. There we go.
I'm at least monitoring the YouTube chat.
Yeah, no matter what we do, everything is just too unstable to worry about what is and is not running. It's just, I wish I could be a little bit more, like into worrying about it, but Facebook has just killed me. They are so inconsistent that I just, it's like they fully know that people, not all people, but enough people are going to other services, platforms, Instagram, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, it's like they're trying to get rid of people. It's so weird.
Yeah, a friend of ours, his all of his videos. Thankfully, he has on Twitch, and I think Twitch, but on YouTube also.
Yeah.
All of his videos on Facebook, they just inform him like, oh yeah, we're going to get rid of these few years worth of videos here. So you have good luck.
Yeah, you don't do. It's the inconsistency that I find obnoxious. Works 1 minute, doesn't work the next. Then it does work, and it works for a while, then doesn't work. It's just like, no. I'm too busy. I don't have time to fix your guys' problems.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to draw cartoons. I don't want to worry about everything else.
Yeah, and we don't know if it's Facebook's problem or if it's something with the streaming service or something. No, we can't.
Yeah. Or something that I did.
Yeah.
But when everything else is working and Facebook isn't, I have a tendency of guessing what is wrong. All right. Gonna keep it loose initially, primarily because I haven't drawn her in a while. And every time I have drawn her, I just haven't quite gotten it right. I've gotten pretty close a couple times, but
Yeah, she's always been one of my favorite characters. And I it's weird because I don't know why she's been one of my favorite characters, but she just always has been. I think the closest I can explain is that she's just this great bombshell that could have literally anyone in the universe if she so chooses. And she uses the lovable goofball who just makes her laugh and she can have fun with. And it's like, to me, that's amazing. And well, aside the fact that she's absolutely gorgeous too, cartoon-wise, and I drew her a lot when I was a kid, when I was trying to figure out my cartoon beauty style. I don't know how else to describe it, but I liked drawing her because of her shapes and her curves, and I love her eyes. I've always loved drawing eyes, and I love her eyes.
Well, very few other characters have those eyes. It's like you look at a lot of different character types and you can kind of grab a whole bunch of like this, like this, like this, and kind of categorize them. There's not a lot of characters that have eyes drawn like hers, and that's I think that's part of the success of that design is there's not a lot of characters that exactly look in so many ways just don't look like her.
Right.
I've tried designing some characters similar to her, but they just no matter what I do, I can't quite get it right because I just like I just like everything together, like how they got the whole design to work and.
Well, it's like the minute that you get close, you're drawing Jessica Rabbit. You're not drawing a character based off of Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit, you're drawing her.
Well, no, I mean I get that. I'm just saying when you're really trying to replicate a lot of what's going on, you should still be able to, get kind of close. And for whatever reason, I just kind of keep not nailing it. At least for me, maybe I'm mistaken. There we go.
I just remember my mom was a teacher, and she retired many years ago. But she was a preschool teacher, and so during right before a school break and all, she would let the kids, if they wanted to watch a movie or so, she would ask the parents, hey, if you would like to send a movie with your child to watch while we're all like having snack break or something, or yeah, let's go right ahead. And so of course most parents would send like the Disney stuff or the John Bluth stuff and all for that time period. And then one kid apparently came in with Roger Rabbit. And
There's nothing wrong with that.
my mom didn't.
Good.
Well, it's definitely not for preschool children.
Well, no, but it's definitely fine for kids. Not preschool is another kind of another thing.
Yeah, it's fine for kids, but we're talking like 4, 5-year-old kids.
Sure.
And I mean, she hadn't seen it, so she didn't know what was it about. And I was a teenager, I think. So I knew what it was all about because I had seen it. At that time I had seen it. But yeah, she wasn't sure. And so later on when she came home, she was talking about it, and she's just like, yeah, I wasn't expecting the gorilla to swear. It was the bouncer gorilla.
Yep.
And, that and a lot of the Jessica Rabbit stuff, she was just like, oh dear. But she let them go ahead and watch it. I think she let them continue on until it was time for them to stop watching it and all. But she was just like, oh, this probably wasn't a good choice. And then I told her, yeah, it's a good thing you did stop it because I don't think those kids would have survived the Judge Doom.
I think we need to give kids more credit than we do.
Oh yeah, we do. But I knew a lot of the kids in the class because I'd come and visit her class every once in a while and stuff. And I don't think they would have. I don't think they would have appreciated the high voice and the knives coming out and the one part where he's coming down with the buzzsaw and his eyes are swirly and weird. Because even as an older, as a teen, was I a teenager? Yeah, I was a young teenager when I first saw Roger Rabbit because I saw it on video because we didn't go to the movie theater. I saw that, and the first time I saw that got me. But like the eyes were all swirly and crazy. I was like, oh, jeez. It was a good kind of. It got me, but it still got me. And so, I don't think a lot of probably 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds at least a few of them probably would have gotten a bit scared in that.
Sure.
'Cause, I mean, I've seen little kids get scared of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, but that's their job to get scared. Because if you spend the rest of your life being scared of Winnie the Pooh, you're going to have a real hard time as an adult.
Oh,
I mean, Winnie the Pooh is everywhere.
well, that's why they got Pooh in his name.
Yeah.
Makes you crap pants. I mean, and like I said, she understood, and she was like, yeah, with her being a teacher, she had a responsibility to make sure that kids aren't going to get terrified, and
Sure.
because kids will complain to their parents, and then their parents complain to the teachers and get the teachers in trouble instead of the parent that brought the thing in. So it's like, you gotta watch your
There's
butt.
the reason
from
why
all
we
that.
don't have kids. I didn't want to go through all that. I just can't imagine dealing with the insanity of parents. But my special boy. Yeah.
No offense to all the parents out there.
Yeah, your special boy. Yeah. They're all special. Yes.
But yeah, like I said, that movie was, that movie inspired me quite a bit as a kid, and I drew so much within from it, and yeah, it was basically the toony version of Endgame with all the various characters that came in, and a lot of the deleted scenes. Thankfully, I've had a chance to either see or look up one of the guy who actually wrote the book, who censored Roger Rabbit, which the movie's based off of, Gary Wolfe. He actually posts little tidbits here and there about the production and character designs and stuff that was left out. And he was talking about one scene that got cut for time and just for because it was draining on. After Acme, what was his initials? Not MC Acme. Acme, the guy who owned Toontown. After he got killed, there was actually supposed to be a funeral for him. And the pallbearers, if I remember, pallbearers were Popeye, Felix the Cat, Goofy, three, and I'm missing three others. But as they were carrying his casket, something happens. Like Goofy trips and he falls into the grave or something. The body falls into the grave, or the casket falls in.
Wonderful.
Foghorn Leghorn was the presiding quote unquote minister doing the eulogy and everything, and they showed all the characters, or the screenshots, or I should say the storyboards, showed the characters all crying and wiping their eyes, and I think at one part like Bluto and Popeye actually got into a fist fight because that's what they do during the service or so. It was actually quite interesting to see that, and I could see why they cut it, but it would have been kind of neat to have seen, which they of course had all the characters come together at the end and stuff too. So.
Well, I just think it's one of those really great movies that we're never going to see again.
Mm-mm. Oh no.
You know, it's never going to happen.
Oh, we have.
Eric and Lashida, do you have any books that you can recommend to a complete beginner in drawing and sketching, a person that is just starting out?
Yes, actually. Let me search my
Give her a
brain
second.
Rolodex here. Now, if you want good basics, this is like I said, some of these may be a little bit out of date, but they're still good for basic stuff.
Yeah, drawing really doesn't change that much.
Yeah, when I was studying, there was a guy by the name of Bern Hogarth. He was one of the main artist of the Tarzan series from the early, I want to say the 50s and 60s. Um, he does great shapes and forms, and a lot of his books and techniques are still available today. But he was one of the guys that I learned a lot of stuff from when it came to shading, blocking, getting your shapes down to act in construction to build things. It is spelled Burne, Burn, and then Hogarth, Hogarth. And the books are usually called dynamic something. So there's dynamic figure drawing.
Dynamics of light.
Yeah, dynamic light and shading, dynamic
Cloth was one.
Yeah.
They had one on cloth.
Yeah, we have a few of his books, like from when we were growing up and stuff.
If you want another good one, it's not a book, and I still haven't gotten through all the videos yet because there were so many. Aaron Blaze has so many different how-to draw series, and he's drawing on screen and instructing you. And he has one because he's one of the ex-Disney guys on how to do anatomy and character work and stuff. And I like I said, I still need to finish it, but I was just sitting there going through it, going like, wow, this is some really good tips and tricks, and you got a guy sitting there for hours, like this but nicer, and he's just really working stuff out and go, yeah, it's like this, but you do that, and blah blah blah, and you build it up with shapes, and here's the contour, and
Yeah, he's a pretty good, because like Eric said, he's a Disney ex-Disney animator.
Not a problem.
Does really he's one of those guys where I respect, because he takes reality and he bends it to his will, which is when you do cartooning, that's one of the main things you learn to do. You learn the rules of realism, so you can break them, basically. And he would sit down and he would, I remember watching some of his stuff where he was doing animal studies. He was doing like lions and polar bears, so he loves polar bears. And so he was doing some polar bear studies, and then he was showing like a polar bear and grizzly bear studies. And then he showed his work that he did from Brother Bear, because he was one of the main animators on there. And basically taking these wonderful realistic sketches and making them into these beautiful caricatured creatures, and just showing how to put the human into the animal, basically. And it was really interesting and really kind of fun to watch. But yeah, his name is spelled, I think is it Aaron, Aaron Blaise.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, aside from that, I would even say there is an online site called ArtStation. Let me look it up here to make sure it's what it is.
ArtStation sounds right.
Artstation.com, and right now to the end of this year, all of their tutorials and videos are free, because normally you have to join and pay for them. But right now, if you just join their website, you can watch all of their videos and tutorials for free, and they have stuff from artists all over the world. I was actually sitting down and watching videos and tutorials on the iPad app Procreate, because it's a really great program, and I'm still learning it. Right now, I'm doing a lot more of my sketching on there, but I want to know how to actually do finished pieces. There we go. But
those were almost words.
Yeah, I know, right? My mind is like
It's
going
warm.
Well, not just that, but I have 3 different like tracks going on in my mind at the exact same time.
Oh, yeah, that do it too.
So yeah, I definitely would check out there, and because they have artists who've worked in comics, video games, movies, animators, illustrators, cartoonists, like pretty much any and everybody. And if you check their learning section, you will just see you can select from everything. They have concept design, Photoshop, illustration, talks, ZBrush, which is a 3D program. They'll talk about careers, talk from anywhere from beginners all the way up to experienced people. So, yeah, artstation.com. Check out their learning section. It's another good one. You just have to join their website, which literally is just if you even have like a burner email account, you could just enter that in. Yeah, and I would even say YouTube. YouTube always has a huge plethora of just how-tos and tutorials. Stay away from ArtTube. It's way more drama than actual art.
Yeah. My simple bit of advice, stick to art.
Yeah.
Do not care what other people want to drag you into. Just care about the art. Everything else is just going to be a complete waste of your time.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying with the ArtTube of YouTube. Yeah, it's literally, it's kind of just middle school and high school. It's people who are sitting and sketching, but they're doing more just like drama and dragging down and talking about folks, and they're basically just being a bunch of high schoolers or middle schoolers instead of just drawing their art. And it's like, you'd be a lot better if you just sat and draw. And because they'll talk about how jealous they are of somebody who can draw better, and it's like, well, you could probably draw better if you just sit there and actually
work on it.
Yeah, work instead of just trying to drag them down and see how bad they are. But anyway, that's the same. I'm saying, just as a warning, you can find some good stuff, but choose your path wisely on that one. Yeah, like there's lots of other books. A lot of stuff has come out since the last time I've even like looked at how-to books, and I love art books and I love how-to books, and so I have to limit myself on what to pick up because we are very limited on our spacing in our own library, which is almost pretty much full at this point. But yeah, depending on what you were wanting to draw, start out with good basics, and then from there, look up stuff with the direction you want to go to. So if you want to be an illustrator, look for some good people, look for some good illustration, how-to stuff. Yeah. All right, that train is pulled into the station. Everybody off. brain is drained on that one.
I tell you, no matter how many times I try to get, it's like I can nail characters that I've never drawn before, that should be in theory so much worse than Jessica Rabbit, but I just feel as if I can never quite get her right.
Well, with your characters, you usually can break them down and build them. She doesn't have much construction.
I built a model of her before.
Which I love.
Which is actually a really good model, but the one thing that I learned from building that model was every single shot of her in that movie is a different character. She is completely different, and every single angle, because you just go in and you measure out, proportions and how this shape connects to that shape, and I fully get it. It's not always going to match. I get it, but they didn't care at all with her. She was just always different in every single freaking shot. Now it doesn't look like it until you start dissecting it, and then you go like, oh wait, her proportions are different here. Oh wait, her cheeks are full here. Oh, they're not full there. Oh wait, and I'm not downing them. I'm just going that's just the nature of that very organic style of animation. And when you're trying to figure out how to do that character, it's just
Why is this turning out good?
Why? So that's always been my frustration. The characters I want to nail, I can never do it. Characters I've never done, that I'm I like this character, blah, 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 yada, yada. Let's see if we can do it, kind of nail it right off the bat and go I can't do it. with Kenshiro. I can't do it with the JoJo characters. I can't do it with Jessica Rabbit. There's just characters that no matter how hard I try, they just don't work. And like, this is okay. This is not bad. But I'm still like looking at it going like, okay, I'm having issues. That's not working right. That's not good. That's blah, blah, blah. You got it. Oh, that's not bad. But I'm still just like, dang it.
Yeah, I would. I can't remember because I know it was mentioned, but again, Gary Wolf, the guy who did the show or did the book, he talks about the animators and the character designer, the original character designer for Jessica Rabbit. I'm unfortunately blanking on the name, but yeah, it's she became an instant icon once he saw it. He's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for.
Well, what I love is some of the earlier versions of her where they were like, let's not make her sexy, let's make her like symbolic of something that's sexy. So she like literally had like artillery shells for breasts.
Yeah.
I mean, just weird stuff. And you're going like, that's not hot, that's not sexy, that's just, you're not even sure if it was funny. You're like, that's just weird. And then so it's like, weird, Jessica Rabbit. Wow. You know? Huh. You guys went from that to that. It's like somebody goes, well, maybe we should just make her smoking hot. Yes, maybe that's the idea.
Well, that, and then they had some of the designs that made her more realistic.
There were some, weren't there? Yeah.
One of the test shots, which I'm forgetting who the guy was, the stand-in guy, who was for Eddie Valiant.
It was just some guy, if I remember.
Yeah, he was part of the production somehow. I can't remember how. But yeah, they almost gave her I want to say Lauren Bacall or whoever the actress was, but they gave her more of this kind of more of the like kind of like noir, detective noir kind of look. Or femme fatale. Well, not even femme fatale. It was like she was the dame of the noir, kind of the noir stereotype. So, yeah. But then they changed that because it just wasn't working. But yeah, that movie it took a while to get made because of just all the licensing and what they could and couldn't do with the characters and what was it, the Disney versus Warner Brother fight with Disney with Mickey and Bugs Bunny, the scene where they're coming down in the with the parachutes and stuff, and Eddie's falling out when he's falling into Toontown, and so he opened up the door that he jumped when he fell out of when he was falling down from the building, and it's the scene where Bugs and Mickey are falling with him, and with that, if I remember, Disney would only allow Mickey to be in there if he had the same amount, if not more, lines than Bugs Bunny. And there was all these things of what Mickey couldn't do, what the characters couldn't do, and there was something in there where it's like they actually had it like Mickey was gonna like get into a slap fight or something like that, and they said no because Mickey doesn't do that, and it was something like he was gonna pull a knife out or something like that, but they're like, no, we can't have Mickey Mouse doing that. And
you mean like how he pulled a gun on Donald Duck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he don't do that. Oh, how about we use a gun instead? Does he do that? Because I saw him do that. Don't give me that.
To be fair, Donald is pretty aggravating.
No, I mean, I get that. I'm just saying that I end up looking at like some of the cartoons that they kind of go like, oh, we never made that. I'm like, Mickey was threatening Donald with a pistol. Don't give me that. I saw that cartoon. Mickey's done some stuff.
Yeah. You done seen some. Like, just as a sidebar, I really, really wish they would release Runaway Brain on high def, because that's I was really disappointed when I found out why we have not seen that short
Oh,
ever since.
why?
Because apparently the executives did not think that that was suitable for Mickey. That entire short.
Your executives. Go play with a
Yeah.
calculator.
Yeah.
That's not your job.
Apparently they didn't want Mickey to be this. They didn't want to show him in that kind of light. Which, for anybody who's watching, if you haven't seen the Disney short Runaway Brain, it is probably one of the best Disney shorts that come out, and it came out in, I want to say, late '90s, early 2000s, and it was shown right before.
So one of the Honey I Shrunk the Kid movies or
I
something.
can't remember. I'll have to look it up and see. But yeah, I mean, you have Mickey Mouse, you have Minnie with Piglet, well, with Pete as a giant Frankenstein, and you have Kelsey Grammer as a mad scientist. I'm like, come on, man, that was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, apparently they just thought it was too dark and too not Disney, and so it was on, like, they put it
It
on.
starts with Mickey and Donald shooting meth in a whorehouse.
I know, right?
Come on, it was just a cartoon. It was hilarious.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, the dynamics of the character, well, the shots that they did, and actual peril, and like, I was really impressed that they did that in the first place, and apparently, but the executives weren't. So, yeah, they just decided, nah, we don't want to do it. We're not going to put this on anything else. Which it was. I think they put it on one of the like short collections or something. But since then, it's never been released on anything else. They've never had a high def restoration of it. I'm hoping in the future maybe we'll have it, but yeah, I'm gonna look it up just to make sure. But man, it was such a great series. But yeah, back to
Short.
what series? Short. But back to Jessica. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna do this real quick. It was attached to a Kid and King Author's Court. It was released in 1995, so way earlier.
Wow. I don't even think I've ever seen a picture from that one.
I remember it, but yeah, I never saw that because I just was not.
It's one of their
interested.
live actions, right?
Yeah, I was not interested in Disney live action stuff at all. But yeah, it was first released in 95, attached to North American theatrical showing of the Kid and King Arthur's Court. In 96, oh, that would have been amazing. Apparently, in international theaters, it was attached to a Goofy movie.
Oh yeah, that's the
perfect.
way to do it.
Yeah.
Of course, Disney America doesn't have a freaking clue how to put a good solid piece of a good solid afternoon of entertainment together. They always have to futz it up somehow.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to sound bitter. I am. I'm not trying to. I just end up going like, everyone else gets better setups, and we get like these just bizarre like. I just don't get it. I don't get why America's entertainment is the way it is.
Well, and the thing is, it depends, because there's some stuff like that where it's just like, oh, that's kind of cruddy that they did that. And then there's some things where it's like, oh yeah, we're glad that we got that, because in other places they completely changed everything. But yeah, it was the final original Mickey Mouse cartoon, theatrical animated short until 2013, Get a Horse.
Get a Horse?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that one.
I don't remember that one at all.
Let's see. Get a Horse is a 2013 American animated comedy short film combining black and white hand-drawn animation and color computer animation, and it starred the late 1920s Mickey Mouse. Wow, I don't even remember any of that.
That doesn't sound familiar at all.
No, I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
Alright, but let's see. With Runaway Brain, let's see, cultural references, release and reception. It was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Short Film, and it lost to a Wallace and Gromit Close Shave.
Wallace and Gromit's tough to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. And the short was released on May 18th, 2004 on the Walt Disney Treasures Mickey Mouse in Living Color Volume 2.
In living color.
Yeah.
Minnie's one of the fly girls.
Huh? I'm Fire Marshal Bill. I would pay to see that. Mickey Mouse doing all the Jim Carrey stuff.
Oh, let me tell you something. That's what we need. We need foxes in living color mixed with Disney. That's what we need. Yes. Completely remove all of the political correctness. Throw characters in where they shouldn't be. There's nothing like mixing Walt Disney with the Wayans brothers.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
More money, more money, more money.
Let me tell you something. Oh man. Oh, there was stuff on in living color that will never be done again. They didn't care who they offended. They went full bore and went, we're going to get a laugh whether it's a good idea to do this or not. We're going to make you laugh no matter how inappropriate it is.
Oh man.
I miss that about comedy, where the comedians were like, yeah, we don't care. This is we're just going to push the limits, and if you got a problem with it, we don't care. And I miss that so much.
Yeah, Jim Carrey actually said that, and he was saying this, it was a couple of years ago during one of the Black History Month things, where he was saying that he was so grateful to Damon Wayans and Marlon, because they basically gave him his break in Hollywood where nobody else would be, and they were just like, yeah, let's give this goofy white guy a chance because he's funny.
Oh my God, he was too.
Yeah, and they was just like, well, he was just doing a lot of the stand-up stuff. They saw what he did, and then when he auditioned, they're like, dude, come on in. We really like, you're gonna fit in really good.
Well, I hate to say this, and I'm not trying to like judge the guy or whatever, because I clearly don't know him, but it's just he used to be so funny. I mean, just demented funny. And it's not to say that he still isn't, because I've seen him still be funny, but it's like he kind of got who am I thinking? Harrison Forded, where everything fun about him died with his youth, and it just kind of, because it's Jim Carrey just seems to have gotten bitter. And Harrison Ford has gotten better. He's just no fun to watch anymore.
See, I don't know. I don't remember him being bitter, because
I just remember seeing stuff where I'm kind of going like, you used to be really funny. Why are you...
Well, I think he went along the lines of, he got kind of typecast and just... I mean, because his serious stuff was really good. I mean, Truman Show was excellent.
Yeah, but it's that still embraced his odd sense of humor.
Yeah.
And him really well too, and
Well, I'm saying, like, I mean, I didn't see, what was that? Was it 1408? It was like the kind of like a horror movie that he did. I heard that was pretty good, but didn't see that. Excuse me. I think he just kind of got typecast, and then he just wanted to do just stuff that he was like,
sure,
which is
fine. It just, I don't know. I don't want to see the funny people go away. There's so much just stupid darkness in the world. The last thing I want to see is laughter, going away.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing a lot of that in the last 10 years, and I'm like...
Yeah, which also I think is because he has gotten older. A lot of his comedy was physical based. It's like he can't do a lot of that stuff that he was doing before. I mean... Okay,
you got a bit. Admittedly, you've got a point there. I'm not gonna argue that. I'm just saying though. He used to just slay me over and over again, and now I'm kind of like, oh, okay,
Yeah, I think he's still out there. It's just that he's just kind of taking a break at this point. Or just kind of, I think he's just kind of enjoying the fruits of his stardom, honestly. Cause
And he should. It's just I've caught like interviews and stuff where it just seemed like he was really getting better, and I was like, that's a shame.
Oh, I must not haven't seen those. But the one that I saw when he was talking about being on the Grinch and how he was talking with, like, he was at some type of at some star thing, and a little kid was talking to him, and kid's parent was just like, hey, that's the guy who's the Grinch. And the kid was just like, no, not really. And he leans forward and he does the Grinch smile, and you literally see his face transform from Jim Carrey to
The Grinch.
Yeah, to the Grinch with the smile and everything, and he does some of the lines. And he said the parents kind of stepped back and just went, "Whoa, I thought that was all makeup." Because he literally
He's a rubber face.
Yeah, his cheeks, everything curled. And I was just like, "Holy crap, that's awesome!" But yeah. Oh man, yeah, I remember. I can't remember the character, but on Living Color was one of his first major sketches before he started doing a lot of character work or being one of their top guys. He was doing the guy who would constantly interrupt people's interviews.
Oh.
And it's like he was always David Allen Greer was always the reporter. And he and the person he was talking to had to keep a straight face for like 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes as this bit was going on. And Jim Carrey in the background doing all kinds of just stuff. And I would laugh my butt off because you could see them trying not to break character. And they were doing a good job, but they were just, you could see like an eye twitch or a lip would curl up for a second because Jim Carrey would walk up behind him like an orangutan and then do that backwards fall that he would do. And that's like, that one was one of my favorite ones. And then it was another one, I think the same bit, where he's pulling a rope and he's like behind it, like, but you can see him way in the back and he's like smiling as he's pulling this rope, and the rope goes by and you see the rope go by and you see the rope go by, and then here comes Jim Carrey again on like a pedestal doing the George Washington thing as he's going by.
Marvelous.
When he like pulled his shirt over his head and he was acting like a T-Rex because his arms were stuck in the shirt. But yeah, that was his intro into the series itself, and then he started getting the character bits and stuff for his own characters. Yeah, Fire Marshal Bill and who else? Yeah, Fire Marshal Bill. He would always blow himself up. Oh man, how did we get on Jim Carrey? Wow.
I have no idea. It's so warm. We could have been talking about like taxis or something. I'm just floating over here.
Oh yeah. Back to Roger Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always wanted to be able to. I tried my best to learn how to do Roger's his lip flutter. I always loved that, and I can fake do it, but I can't actually do it.
Well, the guy that did it, he had like sloppy cheeks.
Yeah, he had very, very floppy cheeks. Yeah. Excuse me, sloppy floppy.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I would try and like blow the air into the corner of my mouth and my cheeks to try and get it to go, and it just makes a fart noise. And Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, if I remember, they said Jessica was based off of Betty Boop.
And Red Hot Riding Hood, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Another great character.
Actually a super sexy character. The only thing that I think holds her back is you don't understand what the heck her hair is doing, because it's like a caricature of an actual style of hair that has not been done for like 60 or something, no, longer than that, 60, 70 years or whatever. And so with like Jessica Rabbit, you look at her and you understand everything you're seeing. With her, she's got like, I mean, a cool looking hair, but you're like, what is that? You
Yeah,
know?
let's see, Red Heart Riding Hood. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think her hair was like I don't remember. Let me look it up here. Excuse me. 'Cause it was based off of that weird the chorus girls.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, what was it? I think the Andrews sisters. I think there was like the three sisters who would always like be in the airline outfits and would sing harmony and stuff like that. It was kind of based off.
Maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no clue what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Maybe.
Music stuff. Yeah, there was a trio of women called they were the Andrews sisters, and they appeared on a lot of black and white movies and stuff, musicals and stuff, and they would sing their song. They would always sing in harmony, and they had that similar hair, if I'm not mistaken. So it was like the style of the time. It was like some weird curls that would go that was parted, would go underneath in the front because all the hairspray and whatever else they used to keep it in place and all that. But yeah, her hair was always fun. But yeah, the character, I love the character because again, I like the shapes. I like how they made her and stuff. But the wolf, his responses always would just crack me up.
Well, you really watched it for the wolf. I mean, at least as a kid.
What was the one that I loved was the country wolf and the city wolf. And there was the country wolf that was getting chased by the hillbilly chick. And he tricked her once by literally putting a cow in front of her and she kissed it. And so his rich cousin comes up and grabs and picks him up and takes him to the city. And of course Country Wolf was just baffled by everything and all that. And sees Red Hot Riding Hood and he's doing all the wolf things and trying to get at her and all that. And long story short, he gets thrown
He
back.
dies.
Not quite. But City Wolf takes him back to the country, and City Wolf falls in love with the hillbilly chick, who's literally this kind of olive oil beanpole looking thing with like the patchwork clothing. And the one part that I always laughed at when she met them at the door, and she's doing this pseudo sexy pose with these like super skinny legs and huge
Sure.
feet, and she's like, "Howdy, y'all." And City Wolf just goes crazy for her.
Yep.
And Country Wolf smacks him on the head. But you can't do that. I guess it's back to the city. And he drives back to the city so he can chase after Red Hot.
That's funny.
It's like, howdy, y'all. Let's see if I can find her. Country Wolf, City Wolf.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, the lead is just not going down very dark. Just
Should be the humidity.
it's got to be it, because I'm like pressing harder than I normally press, and it's coming out a little light.
I noticed that when it gets humid and stuff, because I've had the same thing where I'm just like, why doesn't this feel like it's going down like it should? And usually it's warm out. It's like the paper's just not being very appreciative of the lead.
Not appreciative.
Here she is.
Oh, awesome.
The giant,
She's hot in her own weird way.
the giant red painted toenails always got me.
Hey, if that's your thing.
And what I love is like her pinky toe is sticking out like a pinky, like she's holding a cup of
Marvelous.
tea. That just cracked me up so much.
Yeah, yeah. That's hilarious.
I freaking love old Tex Avery. He is one of my artistic inspirations. Oh man, he was so great.
Not bad. All right.
Yeah, not bad.
I love how I did not plan this at all. He's cheating on his wife.
Oh.
Sir,
Hey, she's cheating on her husband.
she might be.
There's no mind about it.
She might be.
There's no mind about it.
Yes, she is. Yes. Like, all right, as is tradition, when two characters are facing each other in my sketchbook, sealed for eternity, they are sealed together in a mighty and unholy. Oh, Kiss, that is horrific. That's
He looked frightened, but yet like he was happy that like he was expecting. He was scaroused.
he was scaroused. It's too much woman, and he was too much man. All right. Everyone, have yourself a good week.